Hello everyone, welcome to another CPM lesson. Today we are doing lesson 218. All week we've been talking about expression maths, and right now we're going to talk about equation maths. What if both sides are equal? That's where we're going to focus today. So before we really move forward, you're going to do 272, A and B. Okay, I have A right here. And in a second, you're going to do B. A. Remember, on the left-hand side, we write what we see. I see 1 minus 6 minus parentheses 1 minus 3. That's on the left. On the right, I see 3 minus 1 minus parentheses 2. Okay, left, right, original. Okay, so this is how we always start. You have your table, and it says left expression, and we write it, the right expression, and you write it, and then the explanation, and you write it. Now, last week we talked about our 3 legal moves. In this order: zero pair, flip, and balance. Let's start with the zero pair. Okay, 0, 0, 0. So on the left I have 1, 2, 3 negatives. Zero pair. Zero pair. Okay, so now I have 0 on the left, and I'm going to be left with a 0 pair on the right. So I've done one step, and now I can go ahead and say that the left is less than the right. And after one step, guys, I can decide which is greater. So what you are going to do is you are going to go to CPM, you're going to have it ready, and you are going to decide which is greater. Here's the left, here's the right, and you're going to write it down. Now, if you need tiles, please remember in your ebook, here in the upper corner, you can click on eTools and then build tiles. That's an option that you can use here in your Chromebook. So what I want you to do is in letter B, decide which is greater. Pause the video now. All right, so problem 2-73, we have A, B, and C. And we're going to go back to last week's work when we had this situation right here. Okay? And you might remember we were asking ourselves, which is greater? Asking ourselves the question, which is greater, X or the number 5? Okay, that's the problem I have right here, X or 5. And our response last week was, we don't know, Mr. McCoy. We don't know which one is greater until we know the value of X. See, this is something that we've been building on for the whole week. And so what we're going to talk about today is some numbers that will make this true. So in letter A, I want you to write, if the left is smaller, then, so let's think. What could X be if left is smaller? Let's see, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Anything in the negative? All of those are smaller. So if the left-hand side is smaller, then X is any number less than 5. It cannot be 5. 5 is not less than 5. It could be 4.999999993, but it cannot be 5. Any number less than 5. Okay? Letter B. If the left is greater, okay, well, let's think of numbers that are greater. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million, right? It's anything. So then X is any number greater than 5. There we go. Now notice, we've got all these numbers that are smaller than 5, bigger than 5, but it can't be 5 because that's not greater than, that's not less than. If the left is equal, if these are equal, exactly the same, then X can only, the key word here is only. There's only one number, only be 5. Okay? That's the key. It can only be 5. And this is where we're going to begin to transition away from these comparison mats of less than and greater than, and we're going to switch to equation mats. So we're going to deal with equation mats for a couple of problems. So solving for x. So you'll notice on your notebooks in lesson 218, problem 2-74 has 2 expression mats. Notice mine has 6 rows and you only have 4. You're going to need 2 more rows down at the bottom. So here we go. On the left, I have x plus 1 minus 2. That's the top. Minus the bottom, negative 2x plus 1. Now I want you to notice this expression mat has this double line. Right? You see that double line right here? That double line is saying equal. So notice that our left equals the right. We're on an equation mat now. So on my right, I have 5 minus parentheses negative 1x plus 1. Okay? And remember, we always write this is the original. And what we're going to do is we're going to systematically go through our legal moves. So what we need is the actual problem, 2-74. I'm going to click on this. I want you on YouTube to continue just watching. I'm going to help you record it. You watch, pause, record. Watch, pause, record. Okay? So here we go. Here's our problem. And we're going to go through, and what's our first legal move? We always look for. That's right, 0 pairs. So here's a 0 pair. Gone. Here's a 0 pair. So that's gone. And we write x minus 1. Let me make this x a little bit bigger. There we go. X minus 1 minus parentheses, negative 2x plus 1. Close parentheses. Notice double equal line. That's the equal sign. 4 minus parentheses negative x. Do you remember what the explanation was? What was that legal move? That's right. It was a 0 pair. That was a 0 pair. I always like to start with a 0 pair because that's the tools that we use. Okay? Next legal move. We need to flip. Take everything in the negative region, flip it to the positive region. When it comes to the top, the positive region, we flip the color. And let's go ahead and write what we see. I see, Mr. McCoy, 3x minus 2 equal to 1x plus 4. What was the justification? Which move did we just do again? I forgot. Oh, that's right. It was a flip. Make sure you record our steps. We can have opinions all you want, but you must be able to justify why you do something. All right, next step. Our third legal move. We are looking for a balance, matching tiles on matching sides. Here's a balance, matching tiles on matching sides. So I can remove it. Any more? Mr. McCoy, is this a balance where you have single tiles? No, they got to be exactly the same. So let's go ahead and write what we have. I have 2x minus 2 equals 4. And that was after a balance. Now, I have been teaching 3 legal moves from last week, and today we're going to learn 3 more. Okay? 2 of these moves are very much the same. So let me go ahead and rearrange my paper so that it looks organized. Okay? So here's the move. We just did a balance. And a balance is when you have matching tiles and you remove them. So Mr. McCoy, can you take tiles and add them to the board? The answer is yes. As long as you are doing the same thing on both sides, you can. Notice, if I want these negative 2 tiles to disappear, what I can do is I can add 2 tiles. But what you do to the left, you must do to the right. Now notice that by adding 2 tiles, I've created a 0 pair. That is a 0 pair. This legal move is called a 0 pair balance because it's 2 in 1. It's not just a balance because you added tiles to both sides. It's so that you can create the 0 pair. So this is the 4th legal move, a 0 pair balance. Now, just for argument's sake, let's go ahead and create the next legal move. See, I had this. You had 2 negatives, right? You can see them lined up. What if you found a simpler method? Because normally we have things in a negative region, and if I don't want them there, I flip them to another region. So watch this. If you want to take these 2 tiles and you don't want them there, you can flip them to a different region and change their sign. Notice, after that 0 pairs, you're left with the same result. So this legal move, here's what we have. You take these 2 and you flip them. Notice it is the exact same result as if you do a 0 pair balance. So let's go ahead and record. Now you are recording. In your next line, you should have 2x equals the 4 and the 2 make 6. That was the one that I like to record the most, is a side-to-side flip. Most students do the side-to-side flip because they view it as more efficient. It's not wrong to do this. It's not, but it's just what students choose to do. Last legal move. Right now, I have 2 x's. I only want to know what 1x equals. So instead of 2 x's, I'm going to look at 2 groups of just one of the x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tiles and I'm going to regroup them. I'm going to split them up, divide them into 2 equal groups, and I want you to notice I now have 1x equals 3, and after I divide it into 2 groups, that's called a regroup. I am left with 1x equals 3. That's a regroup. Okay? These are the legal moves that we're adding. Last week's 3, 0 pair, flip, balance. This week, 0 pair balance, a side-side flip, and a regroup. These are all of the steps that we need for solving equations. Let's move on to letter B. Letter B. Letter B is 2x minus 5 equals 5x plus 2 minus 1. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you the steps that I want you to follow. The first step that you're going to do is a 0 pair. Okay? After you do a 0 pair, I want you to do a balance. You're going to take tiles away from both sides. Once you do that, you are going to do a side-to-side flip. You're going to take the tiles that you need to move from the right and you're going to flip it to the left. Okay? And your last legal move is going to be a regroup. Remember, regroup is like division, where instead of 3 groups, you only want to know, or 3x, you want to know how much is in 1. So here's the order, and I want you to try to build those on your mat. You can use CPM, and you can use your E tool and tiles. Notice algebra tiles, are here. The background that you want is the equation mat number 2. Okay? I know that this is hard to do. This is called the productive struggle. Right? Life is hard. Math is hard. And we just need to find that ability to be productive. We want to struggle through this. Practice using those moves so that you can be successful. We're going to practice this again tomorrow in lesson 2.1.8b tomorrow. Okay? So thanks for tuning in. Do your best to do 275A and B, but I'll give you some more video tips tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.